Hey everyone, welcome back to another gameplay session of Gloomhaven enhanced with Lego bricks. Today I'm doing the Forgotten Crypt. My characters are currently in Gloomhaven. I don't have any town business to do, so I'm just going to get right into listing the equipment and starting deck for each of my characters. For the Brute, for my ability deck, I'm going to be taking the following cards. Trample, Eye for an Eye, Grab and Go, Hook and Chain, Juggernaut, Leaping Cleave, Overwhelming Assault, Spare Dagger, Provoking Roar, and Warding Strength. And for the Brute's equipment, I'm taking Iron Helmet, Minor Healing Potion, Second Skin, Boots of Striding, and Mountain Hammer. For the Spellweaver, her ability deck consists of Fire Orbs, Flame Strike, Flashing Burst, Frost Armor, Impaling Eruption, Mana Bolt, Reviving Ether, and Ride the Wind. And her equipment, Iron Helmet, Minor Healing Potion, Piercing Bow, and Cloak of Invisibility. I'll also pick my battle goals before I forget. For my Brute, I can pick between Aggressor and Straggler. I'm going to go ahead and pick Aggressor. For the Spellweaver, I can choose between Explorer or Streamliner. Streamliner's tough, so I'll go with Explorer. Revealing a room is pretty easy. While I'm in Gloomhaven, I also need to run a city event. So I'm going to draw the next card off the top of the deck. You are relaxing at the Sleeping Lion when an immaculately dressed man approached your table, a fake smile plastered to his face. Ah, you must be the mercenaries everyone is talking about, yes? My name is Lord Greymane, and I have a delicate matter to discuss. May I sit? You gesture to a chair, and he sits with a faint grimace. I am transporting some valuable goods this evening from one of my warehouses, and I have reason to believe that some of the less desirable elements of the city wish to steal from me. I would like to hire you to help guard the undertaking. Option A, agree to guard the goods. It should be easy money. Option B, politely decline. You have much better things to do tonight. Let's pick option A. Okay, there's two different outcomes. One is if I have a reputation greater than 9. What is my reputation? My reputation's 7, so I can't use that one. So to use the otherwise part here. You head to the warehouse and are immediately set upon by a group of thieves. However, they prove no match for your expertise and are quickly dispatched. Greymane thanks you. Gain 5 experience each. Gain 10 collective gold. Well, that's cool. And this gets removed from the deck. If I had greater than 9 reputation, I would have put this back into the deck. So on the Brute, that 5 experience takes me from 145 to 150. That's enough to level. Ooh, I could level up before doing the next scenario. That's really tempting. For the gold, I think I'm going to give all the gold to the Spellweaver. So the Spellweaver is going to go from 33 gold to 43. And for experience, I go from 137 to 142. So the Spellweaver should level after the scenario is done. So I think what I'll do is I'll wait till after the scenario and I'll level both of my characters when I'm back in Gloomhaven. All right, I'm going to read the introduction text for the Forgotten Crypt scenario, and then we'll make our way to the Forgotten Crypt. We'll also run a road event along the way. The requirements for this scenario is the Power of Enhancement, Global Achievement Complete, which I do have. And the goal is to protect Hale until she reaches the altar, so it's an escort mission. Introduction. You want to do what now? Hale stares at you blankly. You found a rift into the plane of elemental power and you want to close it? She sighs. Well, I did agree to help you, Hale begins tossing the orb you retrieved up and down in thought. Okay. Based on your description, it's going to take a little extra work to close a rift of that magnitude. I could do it myself, but it would take a while, and it may get troublesome if we were to be attacked by the other side in the middle of the incantation. It would be much easier to do if I had an elemental sensor, which, really, is entirely too convenient, because I've been wanting to get my hands on one for my studies anyway. I knew a powerful elementalist who owned one many years ago. He's dead now, but I'll take you to his crypt personally. I'd advise against handling the sensor on your own. After a day's journey, you find an ancient, overgrown mausoleum resting along the Serpent's Kiss River. Stonebreaker really was a nice fellow. Getting crushed by massive boulders is just one of the hazards of being an elementalist, though. After clearing away the overgrown vines, you head down into the crypt. Oh great, Hale says. These blasted cultists are everywhere nowadays, probably looking for the sensor too, or they simply don't want you to have it. You look at Hale with confusion, and she points to the shadows, where dark figures in black robes emerge. You shouldn't have come here, Ghostface, one of them says. Ugh, Hale sighs. Dispatch these simpletons quickly. I'm already bored with them. Now there's some special rules for this scenario. First, I have to add 3 curse cards to each character's attack modifier deck. Hail, represented by a numbered token. In my case, I'm going to be using my Lego witch that I dug out of my minifig drawer. Has 4 plus 2 times L. L is the level, I think the level of the scenario. She's an ally to you and an enemy to all monster types. She acts on an initiative of 99 each round, performing move 2 towards the altar. And the altar's way in the back of the dungeon. Opening doors and springing traps if necessary. Okay, so she will go into a trap. The scenario is complete when she ends her turn in a hex adjacent to the altar. If Hale is killed, the scenario is lost. Well, that's interesting. So I just have to get her to the altar. Before we get into the scenario, though, I still have to run the road event. I find doing the road events is always tricky because the introduction text usually starts in Gloomhaven and then ends in the scenario. So from a continuity point of view, there's no good time to run the road event. It's either before you read the scenario text or after. So even though I'm at the Forgotten Crypt already, I have to still run the road event. Again, I'm drawing off the top of the deck. Not far outside Gloomhaven, you look up to see a large bird flying overhead. Something is odd though. Its movements are jerky, and there is smoke billowing out of it. Then you see it plunge into a sudden nosedive and crash to the ground off in the east. You rush to the scene and find a limping, soot-covered quattrel kicking a giant winged contraption made of leather and metal. "Curse this wretched thing," he yells in frustration. "I thought I'd worked it out, and then I suddenly lost pressure in the piston chamber." He looks over at you. "You there! Wonderful timing. Help me get this thing back into the air. There is no time to waste." Option A, do whatever the quattrel says. Option B, demand an explanation before you help it in any way. Let's just go with option A. You set the wings and bang out a few dents while the quattrel repairs his pressure problem. In under an hour, the quattrel declares the contraption airworthy and jumps in the cockpit. You stand clear and watch in awe as the thing begins flapping wildly, and then sputters forward and lifts off the ground. Unfortunately, the flight is short-lived, and the second crash is not nearly as forgiving. You find the quattrel dead on impact, and there's nothing more to do except harvest the machine for valuable parts. Gain 5 collective gold. Well, more gold is good. This gets removed from the deck. So again, 5 collective gold. So I'm going to go and give all the gold to the brute. He goes from 42 to 47. Well, that's done. So now I'm going to shuffle these curse cards into both of my characters' decks. 3 for the brute, 3 for the spellweaver. This is horrible. That means now in each character's deck, there are 4 cards that can nullify an attack, because there's 1 null card in each character's deck all the time. But the curse cards can be removed from the deck once they are drawn. Anyone want to guess that I'm going to draw 2 curse cards in a row? At least once. Okay, decks are shuffled. I'm going to give the monster deck a quick shuffle. My characters are at the dungeon. Now my characters can start in any of these 5 hexes. Hail starts in this corner over here. So where do I want to go? I'm going to be in front of Hail so the monsters can focus on me and not her. Because again, if she dies, the scenario is over. In this first room though, for obstacles, there are 4 stone columns, and for monsters, there are 2 cultists. So this first room doesn't look too bad. Okay, we are ready to go. Start of round 1. Actually, I gotta keep track of Hale's health here. How am I gonna do that? So I'm gonna represent Hale's health by using just a little Lego tracker here. So Hale's health is represented by 6 Lego studs. So keeping Hale alive is gonna be difficult. I might have to take out as many monsters as I can. Well, I'm going to pick my cards. Looking at the cultists, they're normal cultists. They only have 5 health. But I remember these cultists, I believe they summon living bones. I think I want to get rid of the cultists as quickly as possible, though. They don't have any armor or anything, though. That's good. Okay, well, my brute will go first, which is good, because I drew the cultist card that summons living bones, which I hate that card. But my brute goes first. I'm using the bottom part of Provoking Roar, just for the movement of 2. And I'm going to move 1, 2 right between the 2 cultists. Now using the upper part of Leaping Cleave for an attack of 3, and I can target both these cultists. So I'm going to target cultist number 4. This is number 4 and number 6. Do number 4 first, plus 0. So I hit the cultist for 3. Now to target cultist number 6, again plus 0. So I hit cultist number 6 for 3. I was hoping to get rid of at least one of them and take my 1 experience. Spellweaver is next. I am going to use the bottom part of fire orbs for a movement of 3. And I'm going to move right next to the door here. Now I'm going to use the upper part of flashing burst for an attack of 3 with a range of 3. And I'm going to attack cultist number 6 plus 0. Well, I hit cultist 6 for 3. It already has 3 damage, so I put it up to 6. It has a health of 5, so I kill cultist number 6. And flashing burst puts the light element into the element table. Cultist is next. So there's a good and a bad thing about this card. So it's going to summon a living bones. The summons go in a hex closest to an enemy. I've got 2 viable hexes. I've got one here and one there. So I'm going to say 1 to 2 it goes back here. 3 to 4 goes there. I'll roll a 4-sided die. 2. So living bones get summoned right there. Now the living bones will not act on this turn, so I'm not going to draw a card for it. Now the cultist, even though it summons a living bones, it takes 2 damage, and it already had 3 damage, health of 5, so the additional 2 damage would kill it. So he kills himself. I guess the effort of summoning that living bones takes health out of him. Cultist 4 is gone. That's okay, good trade-off. So again, the living bones does not act on this turn. It'll act on the next turn. So hail is next. Now all hail does, move 2 towards the altar. So I'm going to take the most direct path I can for hail. So 1, 2. That is the end of round 1. Light goes to waning. This cultist card gets shuffled back into the deck. Start of round number 2. So living bones goes first. It doesn't attack, but it will shield itself for 1. It already has a shield of 1, so now it has a shield of 2. Yuck. And then heal itself. Well, it doesn't have any damage, so the heal, it doesn't do anything. But now it's got a shield of 2. Next is my Spellweaver. I'm going to use the upper part of Flame Strike for an attack of 3 with a range of 2. And I'll attack Living Bones, plus 1. So attack of 4, shield of 2, so I hit him for 2. Then I'll use the bottom part of Ride the Wind just for the base movement of 2. And I'm going to move into this door. So open the door. No, I got 1 more movement left. I'm going to go ahead and take my extra movement now before I forget. I'm going to move right to here. Now, since I opened this door, I have to read a special text. There is no rest among these cursed undead. As you kick through the door into the next room, you hear more commotion from the entrance. There's more of them behind us, Hale yells. Spawn 1 normal cultist for 2 characters. Well now. So, a cultist is now spawned back here. In this next room, there are 2 living spirits and another living bones. It's still the Spellweaver's turn. I'm going to go ahead and use the Cloak of Invisibility to make myself invisible. Because these living spirits, their card is to curse, and I don't want another curse card in my deck. So I'm going to turn myself invisible. That is valid until the end of my next turn. So next to act, then, is the cultist. Summoned monsters do not act on the turn they are summoned. The cultist was summoned on this turn. So even though I drew a card for it, it will not act on this turn. That means the living spirit is next. So we have your living spirit number 2 and number 5. So they both have a move. Their base movement is 2. They curse, target all enemies within range. But they don't attack, they just curse. Well, both living spirits then are going to move towards... Actually, the living spirits don't know the Spellweaver is there. So we'll treat the Spellweaver as an obstacle, but I can't end my turn on the Spellweaver. So I think what that means is the living spirit, and the living spirits can fly, and they can fly over obstacles. So I think that means the next focus target would be either the Brute or Hale. To get the closest to them, living spirit number 2 here wants to move 2. So it's actually going to move 1, 2, and move over top. of that boulder. Oh, these guys have a ranged attack. Target all enemies within range. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so neither character is within range. So living spirit number 5 then will move 2. It can't end its turn on top of the other living spirit. So it'll just move towards the Spellweaver, even though the Spellweaver is invisible. Range of 3, 1, 2, 3. Nope, nobody's within range. But this still puts the frost element into the element table. My brute is next. So I'm going to attack living bones with the upper part of trample for an attack of 3 and a pierce of 2. +1. So the pierce of 2 lets me ignore the 2 shield. One from the ability card, one from the stat sheet. So I hit it for 4. That puts it up to 6 damage. It has a health of 5. I killed the living bones. Now the living bones was a summon, so I don't get a money token for that. Now I'm going to use the bottom part of grab and go for a move of 4. But I think I'm just going to move 1. And I'm going to move right here to provide backup for Hale when she moves. Hale is next. Hale just moves 2. 1, 2. Gets her close to the door. So end of round 2 cleanup. Light goes to inert. Frost goes to waning. Sitting on a coin, so I can take this coin. Shuffle symbol on the living bones deck. This goes to inactive. That goes to inactive. Start of round number 3. Oh, I got lucky. So my Spellweaver has an initiative of 20. My Brute, 27. Living Spirit, 22. Cultist, 27. Living Bones, 64. So both of my characters are going to go first. Even though the Cultist has the same initiative as my Brute, the Brute will still go first. This is good, because I have a plan. Spellweaver goes first, though. Quick correction. The Living Spirit will go before my Brute, but the important thing is that my Spellweaver goes before the Living Spirit. I'm using the bottom part of Frost Armor just for the movement of 2. And I'm going to move to here. Now I'm going to use the upper part of Impaling Eruption. Attack of 3, range of 4. Additionally, target all enemies on the path to the primary target. Now, obstacles do not affect my ranged ability. So actually, I can target both living spirits and the living bones. I just have to make sure that they're all on the path. Whenever determining path to an object, you can always go from the corner of one hex to the corner of another. And if that line intersects any other hex, that means that hex is on the path to that target. So if I go from the corner of my hex here to the corner of the living bones' hex, I pass through this hex, this hex, this hex. I can get both living spirits on the path to targeting the living bones. I'm going to get 3 experience for using this, for targeting 3 enemies. Just get that available here. I'm going to target them in order along the path. Now, the first living spirit is right next to me, so I'm going to get disadvantage on my attack. So I have to draw 2 cards and take the worst of the 2. These living spirits have a shield. I'm going to go ahead and use my piercing bow. During your ranged attack, ignore all shield values for the entire attack action. So I can ignore the shield. Probably overkill. These guys only have a health of 2, but if I can get rid of them in one shot here, that'd be great, because I'm going to lose this card if I use it. So first living spirit, number 5. So attack of 3, first card, -1, second card, -2. Well, that's horrible. Well, -2 is the worst, so I have to take that one. I can ignore the shield, so my attack is 1. I have a health of 2, I do 1 damage to living spirit number 5. Living spirit number 2, no disadvantage, so I just take the 1 card here, +0. Hit it for 3, I can ignore the shield of 2, so it has 2 health, I hit it for 3. I killed living spirit number 2. Now the living bones, +2. Oof, that's awesome. Living bones also has a shield. So I hit it for 5. It has a health of 5. I can ignore the shield, so yeah, I just killed living bones number 4. Now I lose this card. This puts the earth element into the element table. Take my 3 experience. Now my invisibility comes off me. Piercing bow is now consumed. Not a bad outcome, really. Living spirit is next. -1 to movement. It has a base movement of 2, so that means it can move 1. Attack of -1 with muddle. Yuck. Now it has a ranged attack. Range of 3. For anybody watching, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but monsters will always try to use their abilities to the best possible effect, and they will take the least amount of movement in order to do so. So my Spellweaver is not invisible anymore. So the Living Spirit should focus on the Spellweaver because it's the closest character. But the Living Spirit has a ranged attack. In order to not have disadvantage, it's going to have to move 1. It could move 1 and attack Hail, but in a tie between 2 equal focus targets, it'll always attack the character that went earlier in the round, and that was the Spellweaver. So it has 3 viable hexes it can move. It can move here, here, or there. Now, I like to randomize these things. So I'm going to roll a 6-sided die and say 1 to 2 it goes here, 3 to 4 goes there, and 5 to 6 it moves there. 2. Living Spirit will move here and attack the Spellweaver. So -1 to attack. Its base attack is 2. So an attack of 1 plus 0. So it hits me for 1 and muddles me. This muddle is effective until the end of my next turn. Brute is next. I'm going to use the upper part of Hook and Chain. Attack of 3, range of 3, and going to attack the Cultist. This also has a pull, which I am going to use. Attack of 3, rolling modifier, pierce 3, so I get to draw another card, and curse. Alright, well, that means my attack is nullified, but I get to remove that curse card from my deck, so at least I got one of them gone. Now I can still use the pull, which I am going to do. I'm going to pull the Cultist toward me. I can pull it into either of these hexes. I'm going to pull it right there. Because now I'm going to use the bottom part of Spare Dagger for just an attack of 2. And that's a melee attack. +1. So at least I hit the Cultist for 3. So it's down to 2 health. Cultist is next. Its attack is melee, but it doesn't need to move. It's next to the Brute. It will attack the Brute with a base attack of 1. These guys are kind of wimps. +1. Brute will get hit for 2. Living Bones is eliminated, so it doesn't get a turn. Well, that went okay. End of round 3 cleanup. Frost goes to inert. Earth goes to waning. That is inactive. That is inactive. This has got a shuffle. The Living Spirit. So Cultist down to 2 health. Living Spirit has 1. Oh, I almost forgot. Got to remember, Hail moves at the end of the turn. So she moves another 2 through the door. 1, 2. I've got 4 cards left on my Brute. I've got 2 on my Spellweaver. I'm going to do a short rest on the Spellweaver. I have 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in my discard. I'm going to roll a 6-sided die to see which one to lose. 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to lose Flame Strike. The rest into my hand. Start to round number 4. My Spellweaver goes first. I'm going to use the upper part of Mana Bolt. Attack of 2, range of 3. I'm going to consume an element in the element table. So I'll consume the Earth element to gain an additional attack. I also get an experience point. So I have an attack of 3. Going to attack the Living Spirit. Now I've got Muddle, so I've got to draw 2 cards to take the worst one. First card, +0. Second card, -1. So the worst of the 2 is -1. That means my attack is back down to 2. Unfortunately, the Living Spirit has a shield of 2, so I do not get through the shield. But I still get my experience point. Then I'm going to use the bottom part of Flashing Burst to move 4. And I will move 1, 2, 3, right next to this door, just so that I'm there. Brute is next. I'm going to use the upper part of Warding Strength for an attack of 3. I'm going to attack that Cultist. Rolling modifier, pierce of 3, +1. So I hit the Cultist for 4, puts it up to 7 damage. It only has a health of 5. That Cultist is now gone. Now that Cultist was a summoned Cultist, so it doesn't get a token underneath it. Now, Hail is kind of vulnerable. I was going to use the bottom part of Eye for an Eye to heal me, but instead I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the bottom part of Eye for an Eye instead for the base movement of 2, but I'm also going to use my Boots of Striding to give myself an additional 2 movement. So I have a movement of 4. 1, 2, I can move through Hail. I don't want to block her path, so I'm going to move here. The next is the Living Spirit. +0 to movement, -1 to attack, but target all enemies within range. Well, unfortunately, the range is 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So everybody is within range. So the Living Spirit can attack all 3 of my characters here, including Hail, but the attack is only 1. So let's go Spellweaver first. Attack of 1, +0. Spellweaver will get hit for 1. Well, this Muddle comes off my Spellweaver. Attack Hail next. Attack of 1, -1. Perfect. Hail doesn't take any damage. Brute and null card. Well, that's great. So no damage to the brute. That is about as good as that could be. Next would have been the cultist, but the cultist got eliminated. So the only thing left to do is for Hail to move. Now she can't move through the living spirit. So 1, 2. That is the end of round 4. That goes to inactive. There is a shuffle symbol on the living spirit. I hate monsters with shields. They're just so hard to get through. I'm going to shuffle the monsters deck. Brute only has 2 cards left. I'm going to do a short rest on the brute. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. We'll roll an 8-sided die. 8. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to lose eye for an eye. Get the rest of them back. Start around 5. Well, my brute goes first. I'm using the bottom part of Provoking Roar just for the base movement of 2. And I'm just going to move 1 to get next to the living spirit. Now I'm going to use the upper part of Trample, attack of 3 with a pierce of 2, so I get through that shield, and attack the living spirit. +1. Well, that'll do it. Living spirit only had 1 health left. I just hit it for 4. So living spirit is gone. Living spirit would have been next, but it has been eliminated. So next is my Spellweaver. I'm going to use the bottom part of Ride the Wind. You know what? I'm going to use it for the move of 8 with a jump, even though I don't need to. So I'm going to move. I'll move into the door first. Door is open. Now, with opening this door, I have to read another condition. By opening that door, it spawns a living spirit. Now, that living spirit should spawn where the brute is. But since the brute is occupying that spot, I'm going to say it's going to spawn in one of the hexes nearby. So it's a flying monster. So it can spawn at any of these hexes around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to roll a 6-sided die and just go in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to see which living spirit will spawn into. 4. 1, 2, 3. Living spirit will spawn right there. Now there's already a card drawn for living spirit. But since it's a summon, it won't act on this turn. It'll act on the next turn. So my Spellweaver, I can finish my movement. I could still move another 7 if I wanted to. I don't want to open this other door yet, though. Hail's nowhere near here. So I'm just going to move 1 more to get here. I lose this card. Now in this room is an elite cultist and another normal living bones. There's no obstacles or anything, though, in this room. So now I'm going to use the upper part of Fire Orbs for an attack of 3, with a range of 3, and I can target up to 3. Well, there's only 2 enemies in my range. I'm going to start with targeting the elite cultist. It's a health of 9. Yike. Okay, attack of 3, +1. I hit the cultist for 4. I get 2 experience for targeting 2 enemies. I'm going to go ahead and get that. Now, Living Bones number 5. Again, +1. Living Bones has a shield of 1. So my attack is 4, -1 for the shield. I hit Living Bones for 3, and I get 2 experience points. This puts the fire element into the element table, but now I also lose this card. Oh, I need to draw a card for Living Bones as well. Forgot. Well, the cultist goes next. -1 to movement. It has a base movement of 2, because it's an elite. So it can move 1. It'll move toward the Spellweaver, and attack the Spellweaver with an attack of 2, -1, so an attack of 1, +0. Hits the Spellweaver for 1. Living Bones is next. Normal Living Bones has a base movement of 3. It's got -2 to movement, so it can move 1, and then it's going to heal itself. Yuck. Okay, well, it's going to move also toward the Spellweaver, and attack the Spellweaver for an attack of 1. Null. So no damage to the Spellweaver, but now the Living Bones heals itself for 2. Hail is next. She's going to move her 2 movement. That is the end of round number 5. Shuffle on the Living Bones deck. I feel like I'm going to run out of cards. Seems like every time I open a door, a new monster gets summoned. That's not helpful. That goes to inactive. Shuffle on the Living Spirit. Fire goes to Waning. Shuffle on the monster deck. I'm going to do another short rest on the Spellweaver. I've only got 2 cards in my discard. So I'm going to roll a 4-sided die. Just count down. 2, 1, I'm going to lose Mana Bolt. Get my 1 card back. Brute, I got plenty of cards. Start around 6. My Spellweaver goes first. I'm going to use the bottom part of Frost Armor. On the next two sources of damage, suffer no damage instead. Put a token on there. That puts the Frost element into the element table. And then I'm going to use the upper part of Reviving Ether to recover all of my lost cards. Then I lose this card in the process. While I'm at it, I'm going to use my Minor Healing Potion to heal myself for 3. And that consumes that card. Living Bones is next. +1 to movement. Doesn't matter, it's right next to Spellweaver. -1 to attack. Its attack is 1. So base attack of 0, -1. -1 to attack. Does that mean I get to heal? That means no damage. So if there's no damage, I don't need to consume a charge of Frost Armor. Brute is next. Well, I'm going to get rid of this Living Spirit next to me. So I'm going to use the upper part of Leaping Cleave for an attack of 3. I'll get an experience point for using this card. -2 means an attack of 1. Living Spirit is a shield of 2, so I don't get through the shield. It's disappointing. Well, I'll try again. Bottom part of Spare Dagger, attack of 2. I need a miracle for this one. +0. Nope, I can't get through Living Spirit shield. That's a waste of a turn. I think then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my Mountain Hammer. Summon a Warrior Spirit. And I think what I'll do, I'm going to grab a minifig for this. Now I can summon this Warrior Spirit in any hex that I want, as long as it's next to me. I'm going to use my Zombie Pirate minifig for my Warrior Spirit. And I'll put the Warrior Spirit right here. Warrior Spirit has a health of 4, an attack of 3, and it can move 1. Now again, it's a summon, so it won't attack on this turn. Next is the Cultist. Well, unfortunately, the Cultist summons another Living Bones. And it's going to summon it closest to an enemy. Summon it right there. But then again, it just takes 2 damage. So it's got 4 damage. I'll put it up to 6. It has a health of 9. But that's the end of its turn. Living Spirit is next. -1 to movement, +1 to attack. Ooh. It has a ranged attack. Its base movement is 2. It's got -1 to movement, so it can move 1. Well, normally the Living Spirit would want to move to get to a location where it can use its ranged attack without disadvantage. Unfortunately, it only has a movement of 1, and it can't move anywhere that would make it not have disadvantage. So it's actually going to stay where it is and just attack the Brute with disadvantage. It's going to attack the Brute instead of the Warrior Spirit. Now, character summons act before the character that summoned them, but I've already taken my turn. And the reason why I mentioned that is because when a monster has got an equal opportunity to attack one character or another, it tends to attack the one that's got the lowest initiative value, meaning the one who acted first in the round. So while my summoned Warrior Spirit would technically act before me, it didn't act in this round. So I think actually that means the Living Spirit will attack my Brute. I think that's how it works. So Living Spirit then has a +1 to attack. Its attack is 2. So 2 + 1, attack of 3, -1. Hits the Brute for 2, but it consumes the Frost element from the element table, and it applies a stun to my Brute. That's not good. So the Brute is stunned, and that's the end of its turn. Well, that is the end of round number 6. Fire goes to inert, goes to inactive. There's a shuffle on the Cultist's deck. Oh, I'm back to being overwhelmed with monsters. This scenario is challenging. Oh, I forgot to move Hail. Hail will move her 2. 1, 2. Oof. Now she is next to some monsters, so this is going to get interesting. She's also blocking the door. My Brute is stunned and I can't do anything next turn. Yike. Start of round 7. Well, my Brute can't do anything but rest, so I'm going to declare a long rest on my Brute. So initiative is 99. The Cultist goes first. Doesn't need to move because it's next to the Spellweaver. +0 to attack. Base attack of 2 is going to attack the Spellweaver for 2. -1. I consume a charge of my Frost Armor, get an experience point, and I do not take any damage. Next is the Living Bones. Again, could move, doesn't need to. It's got an attack of 1, so it's going to attack... Oh, there's 2 Living Bones. Living Bones number 4 will go first. Again, attack the Spellweaver because the Spellweaver goes first in the round. So, attack of 1, +1. Would have hit the Spellweaver for 2, but I consume my last charge of Frost Armor. Another experience point. This card is now done. I lose it. Living Bones number 5 now. Attack of 1, +1. This time I get hit for 2. Next is the Living Spirit. +0 to attack, -1 to range. Target 2. It's got a base movement of 2, but its range is 2. And -1 to range. So that means its range is only 1. So with a range of only 1, that means it's got disadvantage no matter what. So it's going to stay where it is and actually attack both the Brute and my Summon for an attack of 2. Well, we'll attack the Brute first. Now it's got disadvantage, so I've got to draw 2 cards, which I think I forgot to do in the last turn. First card, +0. Second card, +1. So the worst of the 2 cards is +0. So the Brute gets hit for 2. Now for my Warrior Spirit, first card, +0. Second card, -1. So the worst of those 2 cards is -1. Warrior Spirit gets hit for 1. Now that's the end of all the monsters' turns. Well, my Spellweaver's next. Oh, yike. Oh, I don't have a good feeling about this. Well, I'm going to use the bottom part of Ride the Wind to move 8 with a jump. The reason why I have to do this is I want to move so I don't have disadvantage on my attack. And to do so, I can't move through the enemies without jumping. So I'm going to move 1, 2. I'm going to move to this back corner here. I'll lose that card. Now I'm going to use the upper part of Fire Orbs for an attack of 3, range of 3, target 3, and I can target all 3 of these enemies. I'm going to start with Living Bones number 5. This will put the fire element in the element table. Put that. I'm going to get 1 experience for each enemy targeted. Living Bones number 5, +1. It has a shield of 1, so I hit it for 3. It's freaking shields, man. Cultist is next. Curse. Because of course. Well, I can take that out of the deck, though. Living Bones number 4, attack of 3, +1 with a wound. So again, shield of 1, so I hit it for 3. So it's up to 4 damage, and it's wounded. That wound is good. Wound means it'll take 1 damage at the start of its next turn. Okay, I got my 3 experience points, and now I lose this card. I have a bad feeling about this scenario. Brute is next. Well, I can take the stun off me. I can choose to lose one of my cards. I'll lose Leaping Cleave. I get to heal for 2. I can also refresh my Boots of Striding. Well, I forgot my Living Spirit technically should have acted before me. So it actually has an attack of 3. It can attack the Living Spirit then. +0. It hits a Living Spirit for 3. It's got a shield of 2, so it hits it for 1. Hail is next. Now, unfortunately, this is going to cause a whole mess of trouble. Because Hail's going to move 2. 1. And then she's going to move into this room here. Revealing that room. So she opens a door. Thankfully, though, there's no monster that gets summoned. Oh! I'm just realizing I did this incorrectly. There should have been number 1, number 2, number 3. There shouldn't have been a summon when I opened this first door. That first summon should have been here. And then the second summon would have been there. Well, that's a big mistake. I'm not sure if it would have affected anything, but oh well. Plow ahead, see how it goes. In this room, there's 3 damage traps and an elite Living Corpse. So Living Corpse does get to take a turn, but it just moves. It has a base movement of 1, +1 on the ability card, so it can move 2. Doesn't attack though, it just suffers 1 damage. So it can move into either, there's 2 equal hexes here. I'm going to say 1 to 2 it moves there, 3 to 4 it moves there. Roll my 4-sided die. 1. And it suffers 1 damage. Alright, end of round 7 cleanup. Fire goes to waning. That goes to inactive, inactive. No shuffle symbols on any of the monster cards. I only have 4 cards left on the Spellweaver, and I cannot recover any more cards. You know what that means? I only have 2 turns left on the Spellweaver, and I cannot use the Spellweaver anymore. Start of round 8. My Spellweaver goes first. I'm going to use the upper part of Impaling Eruption. Attack of 3, range of 4. Additionally, target all enemies on the path to the primary target. And I'm going to attack Living Bones number 4. So from the corner of that hex to the corner of this one, I will pass through the Cultist. I'm going to get 2 experience, 1 for each enemy targeted. This will also put the Earth element into the element table. So I'm going to attack the Cultist first. Attack of 3, +1. That's 4 damage to the Cultist. It has 6 damage already. That puts it up to 10. Has a health of 9. Oof, killed it. The elite cultist is gone. Now for Living Bones number 4 plus 0, it has a shield of 1, so I hit it for 2. It was already at 4 damage, so it's only got 1 health left. That was enough to kill it. Now this Living Bones was a summon, so I don't put a money token there. Now I lose my Impaling Eruption card. Now I'm going to use the bottom part of Mana Bolt. I could heal myself, but I don't think I want to. I want to move, so I'm going to use it for the base movement of 2. I'm going to move onto that coin. Might as well get a little bit of money out of this. That goes my discard, and I get my 2 experience. Next is the Living Bones, and there's only 1 Living Bones left, number 5, and it heals itself for 2 and shields itself for 1. But it doesn't attack, that's good. Next would have been the Cultist, but it's gone. So next is my Brute. I'm going to use the bottom part of Grab and Go for a move of 4. 1, 2, 3, it gets me into the door. Now I'm going to use the upper part of Juggernaut for a move of 2 and an attack of 2, but I'm also going to use my Boots of Striding again, give myself another 2 movement, because what I want to do, I can move through Hail. I want to get in front of her, so I'm going to move 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move right to, no, I'm going to move to here. So I'm going to move 3 to get to there. I'm going to attack the Elite Living Corpse for an attack of 2. Plus 1, so I hit him for 3. While I'm at it, I might as well use my Minor Healing Potion, heal myself for 3. Oh, and I forgot. Warrior Spirit should have gone next because it should have acted before me. So we'll do the Warrior Spirit next. Attack of 3 will attack the Living Spirit. Plus 1, hits the Living Spirit for 4. Has a shield of 2. So it hits it for 2. That puts it up to 3 damage. It only has a health of 2. That Living Spirit has been eliminated. That's gone. Now, my Warrior Spirit can move. And it's just going to start moving towards us. So we'll move there. So next is Living Corpse. It can move 0 and attack. There's Hail and there's my Brute. It can attack either one, but it will always attack the character that went first in the round, which was my Brute. Of those 2 characters. So it's going to attack my Brute instead of Hail, and its attack is 4. And this is why I moved my Brute there. So attacking the Brute for 4, plus 1. Oof, Brute gets hit for 5. But that is the end of the round. Earth goes to Waning, Fire goes to Inert, Shuffle on Living Bones. Oh, I forgot to move Hail again. So Hail can move through my Brute. So she's going to go 1, 2 to move there. Shuffle on Living Corpse. Start around 9. My Brute goes first. I'm using the upper part of Provoking Roar for an attack of 2 and a disarm. I'm going to attack the Living Corpse. Plus 1. So hit it for 3 and I disarm it. Now I'm going to use the bottom part of Hook and Chain to move 4. I'm going to spring the trap and open the door. So 1, 2. Doesn't matter which trap I spring. I'll spring this one. I take 3 damage from springing that trap. That's not good. And I'm going to move into this door. Now, because that door is open, that summons the Living Bones right here. Now, in this final room, there's the altar that we're trying to get to, a treasure chest, 8 money tokens, but 2 more normal living corpses and 2 more cultists. So next to act is the Living Bones. The summon Living Bones doesn't get to act this turn, but there's 1 other Living Bones left. -2 to movement, plus 0 to attack. So it can't move. It's got an attack of 1. So it could attack the Spellweaver, plus 1. Spellweaver gets hit for 2. And Living Bones heals itself. But heal is brutal. Oh, I forgot again. My Warrior Spirit should have gone next. It'll just move another 1. Living Corpse is next. Well, the Elite Living Corpse goes first. It can move, and then it just muddles and immobilizes. So Hail gets muddled and immobilized. So Hail can't move this turn. That's not great. Spellweaver is next. I'm going to use the bottom part of Flashing Burst to move 4. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, and move right there. That puts the light element into the element table. Now I'm going to use the upper part of Flame Strike to attack the Living Corpse for an attack of 3. Plus 1. Living Corpse had 7 damage. Plus 4 puts it up to 11. Its health is only 10. So Living Corpse is killed. I have to back up, actually. I forgot these other 2 Living Corpses should have got a turn before the Spellweaver went. Their base movement is 2. They're going to move toward the Brute. I got number 3 and number 6. Number 3 is going to move first. Straight line to the Brute would be there. And then for number 6, it can only move to there. They're blocking the way. Now they muddle and immobilize the brute. So immobilize means I can't move. Muddle means I've got disadvantage on my next attack. Cultists are next. Well, summon normal living bones. Alright, so each cultist can summon a living bones. I've got 4 available hexes. I'm going to say for the first cultist, number 2, 1 to 2, 3 to 4 for the summon. 3. And then same thing for number 5, 1 to 2, 3 to 4. Now, these living bones, they do not get to act on this turn. Now, the cultists both take 2 damage. Ugh. All right. Did I move? Hale can't move. But now that's the end of Hale's turn, I can take off the muddle and the immobilize. End of round 9 cleanup. Earth goes to inert. Light goes to waning. Shuffle symbol on the living bones. Shuffle on the cultist. I have to do short rest on the spellweaver. I only have 3 cards left. So roll my 4-sided die again. 1. I'm going to lose. Mana Bolt. Last 2 cards. This is going to be her last turn. You know, I think I'll do a short rest on the brute as well. Got 4 cards. 2. I'm going to lose Juggernaut. Start around 10. There's no more living spirits, so I'm going to get this out of the way. Living bones goes first. Ooh, and there's a lot of them. Well, living bones number 1, because they're going to go in the order of their standees. So number 1 will go first. Move +1, attack -1. The base movement is 3. These buggers can move. So it can move 4. Yikes. I believe it's just going to move here. Number 2 is next. It can move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. -1 to attack, its attack is 1. So base attack of 0, it'll attack the Spellweaver, because Spellweaver will go next in the round, +0, so no damage. Now Living Bones number 4 will just move 1 to get to there, really blocking the way there. Now Living Bones number 5, it can move to there, and it's going to attack Hale, +0, so no damage to Hale, which is good. Next is my Spellweaver. Now this is the last turn my Spellweaver can take. I just got to try to get one of these Living Bones out of the picture here. I'm going to attack Living Bones number 5 with the upper part of Flashing Burst, attack of 3, range of 3, and of course I pick the Curse card. I was getting low in the deck, I knew it was coming. Well, okay, that attack has been nullified, but it puts the light element back into the element table. This is my last card then. I can use the bottom part of Flame Strike for an attack of 2, range of 2, and I'll attack Living Bones number 5 again, and the other curse card. So both attacks nullified. I now don't have any cards left. Spellweaver is exhausted. Next is the Cultist. Well, they can both move. Their base movement is 2. So Cultist number 2 goes first. Well, to get close would be 1, 2. And then number 5 should go 1, 2. Look at that. This is impossible. Brute is next. This time I'm going to remember to move my Warrior Spirit first, but he's going to late to the game. He'll move 1. Nowhere near the action. Now for the Brute, you can use the bottom part of Warding Strength. On the next 6 sources of damage, gain a shield of 1. Put a token on that. Now, I'm going to use the upper part of Overwhelming Assault. I guess I'll attack Living Corpse number 3, which is this one right here. Now, I am muddled, so I have to take the lesser of 2 cards. First card, +0. Second card, Curse. That attack has been completely nullified. And I lose that card, but I get 2 experience points for using it. Next is the Living Corpse. They have a bonus to movement, and then they just suffer 1 damage. Well, they're not going to move because the Brute is right there, and they just suffer 1 damage. Well, in my Brute, I can take off the muddle and immobilize. Hale is next. Well, she can take her 2 movement for what good it's going to do. End of round 10 cleanup. Light goes to waning. It's inactive, inactive, inactive. Spellweaver is exhausted. Spellweaver is now out of the game. Start of round 11. My Brute goes first, which means my Warrior Spirit can move. Move him 1. I'm going to use the bottom part of Trample. Move forward with a jump. Attack of 2. Target all enemies move through. I got to try to clear a path. 1, 2, 3... 4, end up there, and I can target all 3 of those enemies. I'll get 2 experience points for using this card. So Living Corpse number 3, I'll attack it first. +2, so I hit it for 4. Wasn't enough to kill it though. Now Living Bones number 4, +1, I hit it for 3. Oh, it's got a shield of 1, so I hit it for 2. And Cultist number 2, Curse. Well, that's the last Curse card. I lose this card. Now I'm going to use the upper part of Provoking Roar for an attack of 2 and disarm, and I'm going to attack cultist number 2. Null card. That goes my discard. So my attack is nullified. No damage. And I have to shuffle that deck. I'll do that at the end. Next is the Living Corpse. +2 to attack with a push, but they don't move. And then they suffer 1 damage. So there's nobody next to either one of the Living Corpses, so they don't move. They just attack, and they take 1 damage. The Cultist is next. -1 to movement. Base movement is 2, so it can move 1, +0 to attack. So cultist number 2 will go first and attack the brute. -2, well that's good, so no damage to the brute. Then it heals itself for 1. Number 5 can move 1, so it'll move there. Living Bones will move and attack. Base movement is 3. Well, Living Bones number 1 will go first. So 1, 2, well hang on here. It'll attack the person that went first in the round, which is the brute. So we'll go there, attack the brute for an attack of 1, 2 times. Now I've got Iron Helmet, so I can, when attacked, consider any 2 times attack modifier to be a +0 instead. So I get hit for 1, but I have a shield of 1 on my warding strength, so no damage. Now Living Bones number 2 will go next. Well, it can move 2. It's going to attack Hail for an attack of 1, +0. So Hail gets hit for 1. Now Living Bones number 4, right next to the brute, will attack the brute for an attack of 1, -1, no damage. Now Living Bones number 5 can move, will attack Hail, null. Okay, well I survived 1 more round. End of round 11 cleanup, light goes to inert. Gotta shuffle monster deck. Oh, again I forget to move Hail. Hail could move 2, but can only move 1. You get next to the Living Corpses. Shuffle the Brute deck. Now I believe there's no more curse cards in the Brute deck. There's just the Null card. But I can tell I'm not going to finish this scenario. Too many monsters. No clear path for Hail. Start around 12. Doesn't really matter much what I do here. Living Bones goes first. -2 to movement. Their base movement is 3, so they can move 1. Living Bones number 1 is going to go first and will attack my Brute. Doesn't need to move. Null. Well, that's good. Living Bones number 2 is next. Well, it'll move 1. Get next to Hail and attack Hail for an attack of 1, -1. So no damage to Hail. Living Bones number 4 is next. Won't move. Will attack the Brute. Attack of 1, -1. No damage to the Brute. And Living Bones number 5 cannot do anything because it will not move into the trap. Well, no, it will. If it's the only movement available, it will move into the trap. So it will move into this trap and take 3 damage. And will attack Hail for an attack of 1, -1. No damage to Hail. And then Living Bones immediately heals itself for 2. Oh, same thing with Living Bones number 4. It healed itself for 2. Oof. My Brute is next. Limited options here. I'm going to attack Living Corpse number 3 with the upper part of Spare Dagger. Attack of 3, range of 3, +1. So I hit it for 4. It was already at 6 damage, has a health of 7. So I managed to at least kill that 1 living corpse. Got an experience point for using that. Well, I could use the bottom part. Yeah, maybe I will. Bottom part of Grab and Go for a move of 4. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, move over here. Cultists is next. -1 to movement. Base movement of 2. So it can move 1. And then they just heal. So Cultist number 2 will heal itself for 1. And Cultist number 5, it will move. So it'll move 1 and then heal itself for 3. Living Corpse now. There's only 1 Living Corpse left. +1 to movement, attack -1. Its base attack is 3. Well, it will attack Hail because it's right next to Hail. So attacking Hail for 2, +0. Hail gets hit for 2. I honestly did not think I was going to survive that round, but I did. So end of round 12 cleanup. I need to shuffle the monster deck again. Oh, and again, I keep forgetting to move Hail. Hail can move. She will move 1. Shuffle a Living Bones deck. I keep forgetting to move my Warrior Spirit. I'll move him to there. And I need to do a rest on my Brute. I'll do a short rest. 3 cards left. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Losing Provoking Roar. Start around 13. Living Bones will go first. -2 to movement, so they can move 1, and then heal again, and an attack. Living Bones number 1 will go first. Moving does not get it any closer to the brute, so it won't move. Number 2 is next. Well, it can move 1. It'll move there. And it can attack Hail for an attack of 1. Null. I swear I'm shuffling these decks. Living Bones number 4 then. It actually will attack the brute, because the brute will go before Hail. Attack of 1, -1. No damage. Living Bones number 5. Can't move because it can't get through all of that mess. And that's the end of Living Bones' turn. My brute is next. I'm using the upper part of Spare Dagger for an attack of 3, range of 3, and I'm going to attack Cultist number 5 to try to give Hail a path. +0. Hit the Cultist for 3. I get 1 experience point. Now I'm going to use the bottom part of Hook and Chain to move 4. I go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move back over here. Next is the Cultist. Summon Living Bones again. Okay, well, Cultist number 2 will go first. Summon Living Bones closest to an enemy, which would be... it could go next to Hail, or it could go next to the brute. So I'm going to say 1 to 2 it goes there, 3 to 4 it goes there. And takes 2 damage. That's Cultist number 2. Cultist number 5, again, summons a Living Bones. So many monsters. Now in this case, the closest hex would be right here. What a mess. But then the Cultist takes 2 damage. It already had 3. Actually, that Cultist now is gone. Living Corpse could move and attack. Well, it's not going to move because it's already next to Hail. So it's going to attack Hail for an attack of 3. She's only got 3 health left. 2 times. Well, that'll do it. Hail has been killed. That is the end of the scenario. Okay, I failed the scenario, which means neither one of my characters get their battle goals, even though they might have actually achieved the conditions. You only get your check marks if you actually successfully complete the scenario. But I can add up my experience and my gold. So for the brute, I have got 1 money token, conversion rate of 2. It gives me 2 gold. I'm up to 49 gold. For experience, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No bonus experience because I didn't complete the scenario. But that puts me up to 158. For the Spellweaver, no money tokens. All I have is experience. And I got 13 experience. Add that to 142. I'm up to 155. So both my Brute and my Spellweaver can level. So I'm going to go back to Gloomhaven. I need to play this scenario again, but I'll go back to Gloomhaven first. But I'm going to go ahead and level up my characters. So I'm going to level up to level 4 on both of them. Now I can add another card to my card pool for each character, and I can add another perk. So let's do the Spellweaver first here. I'm going to add 2 +1 cards. More positive cards doesn't hurt. Okay, so I added 2 +1 cards. Well, I get more health too. So I'm now up to 9 health total. So I'll move my health tracker. So I could now pick from level 4 cards, level 4 or below. Now I can add a new card to my card pool, and I can pick any of the following cards: Elemental Aid, Cold Fire, Spirit of Doom, or Forked Beam. Ooh, I actually like Forked Beam. So I'm going to pick that to add to my card pool. Now a quick reminder, my card pool is just which cards are available that I could take into a scenario, but I can still only take 8 cards at a time into any given scenario. So this just becomes another card that's available. So when I run the scenario again, I might change my deck to possibly include one of these new cards. For the Brute, I also get to pick another perk. I think I'm going to add 1 Rolling Modifier Stun card. Add my Rolling Modifier Stun. My hit points go up to 16. That in itself is helpful. And I get to pick a card to add to my card pool. So I can pick between Fatal Advance, Brute Force, Unstoppable Charge, or devastating hack? I like unstoppable charge. Attack of 5? Yeah, let's pick unstoppable charge. Add that to the pool. So that's it. So unfortunately didn't complete the scenario, but the experience was enough to get me to level, which in itself is going to be very helpful. But that's it for today. My characters are back in Gloomhaven. In the next episode, when I play this again, I think I'm going to buy some Bless cards. I'll do another donation to the Sanctuary, get my Bless cards. And I definitely think I'll make some changes to my deck and maybe my equipment. I learned a lot from this episode, though. I learned, when you take a look at this last room, there are 8 active monsters. And despite all of that, I survived like 2 or 3 rounds. So I should just not be afraid of the monsters. But I definitely learned I need to have a clear path for Hale to go. And I did make that mistake early on about summoning monsters when I shouldn't have. So I think with a couple tweaks, I should be able to get through this in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll try to make it through this in the next episode. So I'll see you next time.